Hey everyone, we're back here in Bali to do some gi jiu-jitsu this morning. I'm going to show you guys all how to transition to the mount and also some really nice knee on belly movement from there. So if you want to have a more dynamic top game, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to start looking at how to go from side control to mount. Okay, so we're going to switch from one dominant position to another to advance our position. Okay, so how we're going to look to do this to start is I'm going to have you guys start in side control. So when I'm in side control, I'm going to reach underneath Walter's head, pulling him underneath. My right hand's going to be underneath Walter's arm to pin. Right, so this is a very common pin that we're going to use. This is going to be one of the times we lock our hands together. Okay, I'm not necessarily locking my hands to squeeze. I'm just closing off the wedges. Okay, and from here, if I want to start advancing my position to the mount, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start flaring my elbow open. Okay, and from here, I'm already up on my toes. And this is going to help me raise my level so I can start driving my knee across the center of Walter. Okay, all I'm going to look to do now is start to slide my knee down towards the floor. And now here's the tricky part. Watch my hips. I'm going to turn my hips and then square back up with Walter to go to the mount. Okay, so again, real simple here just to get started. We're looking at how to transition from side control to the mount. Okay, so again, if I'm here and I'm pinning Walter down, I'm going to lock my hands together. And I'm going to start flaring my elbow open to widen my sense of base. Now from here, watch my head. My head drives forward as I lift my hips and start bringing my knee across his waistline. Now from here, my knee drops to the floor as I turn my hips to the left. And now we'll post wide to maintain my position. So we can do this off a pass. You guys want to add a little bit more movement to it, so you guys can just start real simple with hand on the hip. We're going to circle, push the legs away. Now look, as I come into pin, I'm widening my base and advancing my position over to the mount, and now I've moved into another position of attack. Okay, you guys can also start adding submissions, so you're building different submissions in a direction, right? So if I'm coming around here and I pass, maybe I come down, and first I'll start looking for a submission, maybe key lock. After I get the tap for the key lock, I widen my base, come to mount, and then once we get to mount, we'll start looking at different attacks we can do from here. Okay, but first let's just get used to that transition of going from side control all the way to the mount. Okay, Let's try it, 1, 2. Okay, so look, like, you guys have the general idea down. But the question is as we mount, as I'm making this transition, you guys are worried about the bridge, right? So the wide elbow is something that's going to help prevent that bridge from happening. It's giving me a wider sense of base. But as I come over and my hips drop, as he is into me, you see how I can raise my hips back up? Give me a bridge over your shoulder. You're trying to bridge into me. Boom. See how I can still catch myself with my leg and still come back in. Okay, so this is a dynamic position, meaning I need to be ready to move and adjust in it, right? But as long as I keep the head and arm position and that elbow wide, I still have an effective pin. I just got to be ready for my hips to move up and down, right? Remember, we're adding that twist in our movement so we avoid him recovering the half guard. This is going to be like a guard-oriented player. We're going to use this method, right? So we're adding like another step to it. We'll talk about that guard recovery next so you guys understand the value of that hip movement. But it's also keeping us dynamic in the sense that if I can advance my position and go here, I can also switch back, and now I'm on knee and belly, where I can continue in my attack sequence, right? So you guys need to be flexible in this positioning so you can maintain dynamic movement, right? So that hip adjustment holds a lot of value. We just got to get used to it because it feels unfamiliar, right? All right, let's try it, 1, 2.